My name is Waleed Almufti. I am a human rights activist from Yemen. And I just would like to talk a little bit about Yemen and about the war in Yemen and about what real happened in Yemen. And first of all, I would like to thank also again Roland, because he talked a lot of Yemen and he knows a lot of Yemen, because from Saudi Arabia they do a lot of problem in our Arab country, and they are paying money for let everybody to be silent, to not talk. And when they start to do the war in a country, they start to block the social media. They start to block people who are like human rights activists or like political activists, or they just write their names under the blacklist, under like the control wherever they are. They cannot take their freedom, and they cannot talk about what real happened. I just would like to talk about Yemen. Yemen, it was, I think nobody knows about Yemen. It was 1,000 years ago. It was one woman, her name is Arwa. She was the queen of Yemen. And that time, there is no country that they call Saudi Arabia in that time. And we believe that on the democracy. It was many years ago. And that's the best and the most reason why Saudi Arabia, they would like to control Yemen. Because we are the first country that we are, neighbors with them, and they are really afraid because they don't want the democracy moved to their country. And I cannot believe that they are like controlling the woman, that they can't have the right to just drive the car in Saudi Arabia. And you don't have, if you are one of them, you don't have the right to talk about the government, to talk about the king, to talk about even the small princes there in Yemen. Actually, we are under attack, we are under the war from Saudi Arabia. It was like around 2 years. In these 2 years, 31,000 dead and wounded in Yemen from the aggression of and against from Saudi Arabia to Yemen. Sadly, in one day, they come to bomb in Yemen with their air strike without anything. What's the reason? They said that we are afraid from Iran, because Iran, they have cooperated with Yemen, and we are afraid of that, blah, blah, blah. I just would like to say, there is many Shia in Saudi Arabia, in place that they call Al-Qatif, and there is many Shia in Al-Bahrain. And also Iran, they take many places and many small part of Emirates, they take it in it. Why they didn't fight with Iran there? And for example, in Emirates, why they didn't fight with them to return back their part that they take it in, what they call it, that place?
The islands.
Yeah, what's what they call it, that there is a Sughra and the Kubra.
The greater, smaller Trump and Musa.
Yeah. So why? Yeah, in Emirates. Why they didn't fight them there? And I born in Yemen. I grew up all my life in Yemen. I didn't find even one man or woman from Iran in Yemen. Just Saudi Arabia, when they need to attack, and when they need to do the war, and when they need to control a country, they start with this propaganda, Shia, Sunnah. I come from, for example, Al-Mufti family. Most of my family, they are mixed. Some that we don't have like Shia, Sunnah. We have Zaydi and Shafi'i. Part of my family, they are Shafi'i. And part of my family, they are Zaydi. We are together all my life. I live all my life with, I didn't, never ever heard that Sunni Shia. No way. When they start the war in Iraq, we didn't even hear that it was like in Iraq, Sunni, Shia, Christian, something like that. After the war, they come part of Shia, killed part of Sunni. They come part of Sunni, killed part of Shia. So that with the dirty money from Saudi Arabia, they start also in Syria. Now they destroy everything in Syria because of Shia Sunni. Then they moved, they moved to Libya. I didn't, in my whole life, I didn't hear that there is Shia in Libya. Never. Now, there is Ba'ath, they call it Shia. There is Ba'ath, they call it ISIS in Libya. So they start this propaganda in Yemen. Because we have been all together in Yemen. So they start sending, first of all, like people who are bombing themselves. They call it Daesh and ISIS and Al-Qaeda. I have been working, it was like from 2002 until 2008. I have been working in American Embassy, in section that they call it Surveillance Detection Specialist. For a tourist, for a terrorist and something. That section they call it Stop Dangerous Before It Happened. Most of tourists that we found in Yemen, they come from Saudi Arabia. Most of tourists that we found it, like if they are Yemeni, they get money from Saudi Arabia to destroy our country in Yemen. What's the reason? The reason that 33 years Yemen were under control of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, they have in every city in Yemen and in every village in Yemen, they have one like big man and what they call it sheikh or what they call it goy, guide or...
What year was this? Between which years?
It was like when I know myself, like it was 33 years when Ali Abdullah Saleh was
1970 till
1978 because Ali Abdullah Saleh ruled Yemen. So they are paying salary every month to those people who can be like giving like report monthly. They be the hand of Saudi Arabia and Yemen. When Al-Houthi come, when it was like 2014, first of all he said, everyone get money from Saudi Arabia, we will get him to the jail. Because we have the freedom in our country. We have the freedom to not let America or UK or British or Saudi Arabia to control our country and our life. Then they record that Abdurrahman Mansour Hadi, the old president that he ran away to Saudi Arabia, they record that he was talking with his secretary about selling Yemen and about the relationship between Saudi Arabia, the ambassador of Saudi Arabia and Yemen, and between him. And they were talking about like Abdurrahman Mansour Hadi, he said, next week we gonna say no for the void, like no for everything. We will give the reason, we will give the decide for the American ambassador in Yemen and the Saudi ambassador in Yemen. Then we will say that they are the one who will fix everything in Yemen. So whatever what they said, we can follow them. We will accept. So they record them. Then Al-Houthi, they put the record that in the TV. They show all Yemenis that Abdurrabba Mansour, he was talking blah 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 with his secretary. They took Abdurrabba Mansour and his secretary, they put him in his palace there in Yemen. So they said to him, stay here, nobody can touch you, nobody can do anything to you, just stay here until we can control our country, we can decide what we're gonna do. He was there around 10 days, something like that. Then he wore like women's, we call it hijab, and cover niqab, and he ran away. When he ran away, he doesn't know that the Saudi Arabia start to against Yemen and aggression Yemen and bombing Yemen. He doesn't know that. He was in his way from Aden to Al-Mahra because they will take him with the helicopter from Al-Mahra. And he said that in the TV.
Who took him? The Saudis? Or?
Saudi. Before he knows about anything, so the war in Yemen is not about like Abdurrabba Mansour, or it's planned from Saudi Arabia because we know about their plans in Yemen. We know that they would like to control Yemen. They would like to destroy Yemen because they know that we have oil in Yemen. They know that we are free. We like the democracy. We have the best, things that we are poor, but we are rich with our human right, with our freedom, with our everything. So they start the war. Around 31,000 people in Yemen, they dead and they are wounded. So what's the benefit? What's what do they help in Yemen? What have they done in Yemen? They destroy the hospitals. They bomb the universities. They bomb the schools. Most of our children in Yemen, they didn't go to school. They didn't go to hospital. If one time they bombed in village, they took those people who are dead and who are wounded to hospital. They bombed the hospital there. So, what's this war? What they want from Yemen? They want to destroy everything. Now they did. They destroy everything. They destroy the bridge, the roads, the schools, hospital. We don't have now, we are now under the ground. We don't have anything now in Yemen. So, we need just to stop this war. By which way, how we need to stop this war? Because now they blocked Yemen, there is no food. A lot of famine now in Yemen. A lot of dead. If we didn't, if they didn't kill us from their bombs in Yemen, they killed us from their blocked Yemen. We don't have food, water. 2 years without electricity. A lot of people, they are in hospitals. They did because they don't have electricity to help them for their kidneys, for example, for their if they need, there's like medicine, it's need like fridge to put the medicine in the fridge. So now we are really destroyed, totally destroyed from Saudi Arabia. And the problem that Sweden, they are selling weapons to Saudi Arabia to help them to kill people in Yemen. If you account how much they spent money from Saudi Arabia with this war, half of that money, we will be more rich than them if they help Yemen. We will be more, richest in the gold there. We have been poor country and they destroy everything. Now we are totally destroyed. That's what I want to say about Yemen, and if there is any questions that we can discuss about. And I appreciate because all of you comes here, so I just say something that about my country. And I hope that the war it will end. And yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for